I am Grégory Dominé, and this is SEO in 2025, additional insight.
Gregory, what's your additional insight for SEO in 2025?
I believe it's going to be important to shift toward a more agile and faster SEO.
An agile, faster SEO. So what does working in an agile way for SEO actually mean?
Well, first we have to change the mindset, but not only the mindset, also the tools and the methods. I believe that by challenging any aspect of the SEO as we knew it until now, we should identify what worth sticking in 2025, what worth pursuing in 2025, eventually with optimized approach, optimized tool. But we should look at everything like if it's a new job starting over.
So changing the mindset is intriguing. What aspects of the existing mindset, the previous mindset, do you think won't cut it in 2025?
Well, I like to challenge the belief. I've seen SEO is full of belief, or until now was full of belief on gurus and well-known fact common sense. I think it's important to adopt another mindset so we can challenge all of the belief we had around SEO. So we make sure that when we build our knowledge in SEO, or we comfort it in 2025, we build it upon not beliefs, but experience and measurement. Concretely, what does that mean? Let's measure duplication. Let's measure internal linking. Let's measure external linking, link building strategies. So we make sure that it has a real impact. So that leads to the question of measurement, methodologies of measurement. I believe we also have to challenge that. And it's a big part of being more agile in 2025.
Got you. Okay. So just because something's worked in the past doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work in the future. Just because you've heard someone else say that's a brilliant idea, you should go ahead and do that. Don't go upon gut instinct. Do a scientific test and learn approach, see if it has a positive impact on an aspect of what you're doing. And if it does, then you can roll it out after that.
Absolutely. I believe that until now, we tended to practice SEO with maybe 80%. The Pareto rule is 80-20%. 80% was common sense of SEO, a know-how that was actually shared across the community. And I've heard a lot about the Google leaks recently, for example, and we are falling into a consensus that data has been leaked, and I actually have seen discussion about this just like exactly today. Let's challenge that and hear from other perspectives. Let's measure it. If there are leaks, where does it come from? Where does it go? If there are leaks from Chrome data to Google, where can it be tracked? How can we measure it? Can we prove that? Well, to me, until it's proven, it's a belief, and therefore I wouldn't build my strategy on beliefs. I have heard perspectives that were challenging the consensus, and I think it should be granted respect, time, and actually assessment.
So how do you go about proving something? And how do you know what metrics to focus on to get that, it's not belief, is it? To get that understanding that something does actually work and is worth rolling out?
That's the big challenge of SEO. But also that's what fed the industry for decades, is that it's very hard to prove impact. I've been very interested in the topic of causality. There are a few frameworks, and we've been discussing that with SEOs and engineers, data scientists in the different organizations I've been working in, recently at L'Oréal, before that at Zalando, where we had a top-notch team of SEO experts there to discuss about causal inference of SEO. We have built a framework there of measurement to measure impact, business impact, of each of our SEO actions. I wouldn't say it was perfect. Still at L'Oréal, I need to improve our framework for measurement. I still find a lot of challenges in doing so, but I believe it's the way. If we can find or build the right framework for causality measurements between one type of improvement in terms of SEO and incremental impact, spared from noise, spared from seasonality, spared from black magic or other phenomenon, then we have a gold standard for measuring SEO truth. And this is what should lead our SEO product approach. It's a way to go. It's not, we're not here yet, but we're building that on, I need to mention that framework called the causality measurement from Google, which is a causal impact framework. It's a Python framework, R framework that helps us measuring that. There are a few experts in the industry in using this framework. I would like to double down on this.
Can you measure the impact of every single SEO activity on different stages of the buyer journey, even starting with awareness?
The challenge is in crafting the right experiment. That's literally science. Broadly, I would say, no, not everything is measurable. And this is when sometimes you might have to rely on qualitative approaches versus quantitative approaches when we don't have access to the best or the perfect design experiment, or just there is no design that would fit or answer the question from the quantitative side. We might turn to other approaches, but every time these approaches should be sound, robust. So we are more building our strategies on facts and measurements than beliefs.
So you talk about working in an agile way. I mean, is this working in Scrum sprints? Is this working over a short period of time? Or are you simply just using the word agile and saying that you need to be adaptable?
No, I'm literally talking about the agile methodology. So whatever works for your organization. But what I've seen in the last few years of in my different roles was that the setup, the product setup, where SEO is a product, where we have set up a product team with all the ceremonies that go together, was the best setup to set hypotheses, test them, confirm them, eventually deploy them at scale, or double down in testing deeper or other aspects of the problem. Yes, this is exactly what I call agile.
And how does an organization move from a more traditional approach to an agile approach?
Well, I've seen two cases. One case where this agile methodology was set up by design in the very beginning. Zalando was a 13-year-old company when I joined. From the very early stage, the product approach was baked into the experience of working at Zalando, whatever was the product, whatever was the métier. And it was working as such for SEO. I am currently working at L'Oréal, which is much older organization and a quite broader organization too. However, the agile mindset product methodology is not really at the core of the company. Therefore, we need to find a scope where we can start the journey. I hope I found it. We are currently building the internal tooling that aims at steering SEO at the scale of 780 websites in the world, in multiple languages, different technological stacks, different teams. And to build that or that suite of products, we have set up a product team with the product ceremony and agility. So that's a narrow scope. I don't pretend that we have fully adopted the agile approach at L'Oréal. We are far from that, but we started from here.
Are there any downsides to being more agile?
Yeah, maybe in, I would say, adoption and understanding from other stakeholders. It comes with a prioritization. It comes with setting up clear, North Stars, choosing the right metrics. So the downside could be friction when you work on this alignment that is really the preset of adopting agile methodology. You need to align with others on what are the expectations, what are their goals, your goals. So we make sure that we're looking at the same directions. And at this moment might appear frictions. Well, it's a downside because we pointed at inconsistencies in the vision, in the final goal of different stakeholders. However, if we wouldn't see that, we could not fix it, right? So these frictions are also good because it points at what can be aligned. So it participates to grant a better alignment for a common understanding of what is the SEO product.
Does working in a more agile way change the way that you decide upon your SEO strategy and decide on what your priorities should be?
Yeah, absolutely. Priority sizing would be an important step in every sprint, basically. So we make sure that in this ever-changing, evolving landscape of search, with every second day, a new study, a new leak, a new discovery, a new progress in large language model or generative search experience, we need to be able to refocus on what's important day, and it might be different than last week. So yes, it does.
So if a head of SEO is listening to this and thinking, this sounds interesting, I'd like to explore this approach a little bit more in 2025, what are a few first practical steps that they need to do to get started?
I would say to go with the right mindset, I would say the right people and the right tools. I've been always counting on great product managers that had a deep knowledge of search and SEO. So combining both knowledge of search and expertise in product management, you have the perfect role to accelerate towards that SEO as a product mindset. So yes, what would be the first step is to find the good partners in your organization. Sometimes you have not the scale to integrate more partners or to find a new hire for that. Therefore, you need to become that product manager. And then comes the tools to help you to become that product manager. Kanban boards, for example, and the testing tool, recordings, Figma. A lot of tools come to complete the tool set of the good product managers and should help you make the first step.
If an SEO is struggling for time, what should they stop doing right now so they can spend more time doing what you suggest in 2025?
I try to make it practical. However, that's a few years since I'm at this role that I don't put really my hands on SEO every day anymore. But I would suggest to stop doing what we used to do so far. Stop counting number of characters. Stop building links for building links. Stop producing content for the sake of producing content. Stop doing the hygiene SEO that you were doing so far. Start challenging each of the tasks you were doing until now. Measure if it's still worth it to keep it in your 2025 methodology and approach.
Grégory Dominé is Global Head of SEO at L'Oréal. You can find him over at l'oreal.com. Grégory, thanks so much for adding your additional insights to SEO in 2025.
It was a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
I've been your host, David Bain, and you've been listening to SEO in 2025 Additional Insights. a Majestic series that complements the original podcast, video series, and book. Find out more at SEOin2025.com.